Hello everyone, thank you for watching my video. In this video we are going to discuss how to run test cases parallelly in Selenium WebDriver using Selenium Grid concept. In Selenium Grid concept, basically we can run multiple test cases parallelly in different environments like mobile, different browsers. So here there is a central machine that we are calling hub, from where basically we set up where to run what. So we are going to discuss all of this concept today in this video, where we will be using an XML file from where we will dictate where we are going to run what kind of test. Okay, all right, bear with me. Now let's take a look here. If you take a look, that I have my Windows operating system, Windows 7 operating system here in my computer, and on top of that I have a virtual box, right? Can you see Oracle virtual machine, and where I have been installed Windows 7 that is running. So this is my Windows, that is primary Windows operating system, Windows 7, and I have another operating system where it is in virtual box. I have created a Oracle virtual box, and over there I have installed Windows 7, right? If you do not know how to create a virtual box inside Oracle virtual operating system, then please visit my website www.qaquestions.org. I have a detailed video there how you can create a virtual Oracle virtual box. Again, the website is www.qaquestions.org, qaquestions.org. all right. So now if you take a look in the virtual box, I have this Windows 7 operating system, and I have my base operating system here, my primary operating system. Now if you take a look here, that can you see this no internet access, right? That means I do not have internet access here in the virtual box, right? If I open a browser, right, you will see that I might not be able to browse in the internet. So I'll first of all, let's say if you type cnn.com from the virtual box, let's see if it is able to bring the www.cnn. No, it is not able to bring cnn.com because I do not have internet over there. So what is the problem? So let's figure out this problem. Now let me tell you, I'm running this test, like I'm going to use this virtual box and my primary operating system to run test parallelly, simultaneously in multiple machine, in multiple environment. What you can do, a lot of people, what you can do, you can use another machine or your friend machine to do this. Now what is the use of this grid, Selenium grid concept, right? So practically, if you work in an organization, you will have to you will have many test cases. Those you will need to execute in multiple browsers, i.e. Chrome, Firefox, Safari, in different browsers, right? So, and you will have a limited window to finish execution of all of these test cases. So by using this grid concept, right, you can execute parallelly, you can execute parallelly in multiple machines. So that is the core purpose. It's a very important concept here that we are going to use. So stay with me. So now I do not have internet connection here in this machine. So what I'm going to do, in my primary machine, I'm going to open command prompt cmd. In the primary machine, I'm going to type ip config to see what is the IP address of this machine and what is the default gateway. Now can you see the IP address of this machine is 192.168.0.16, right? So every machine in the internet has an IP address, and it also has a default gateway. If you take a look, the default gateway for this machine is 192.168.0.1. So let's say if you have a network, let's say in your home, right? In your home you have 4 or 5 devices connected to internet. So each of the device will have an IP address, and all of these devices are connected to your router. That router is connected to internet by this default gateway. So that is what is default gateway, right? Now note this number 192.168.0.16 and 192.168.0.1 is the default gateway, right? So let me go to this machine and let me click here, open network and sharing center, and if you come here, go to local area connection, and if you click on properties, then can you see this? So that is where I'm going to make it. So if you take a look over there, it is 0.16. This is the IP address. So I cannot give same IP address to another machine. So I'm going to give over here, I'm going to give 0 instead of 16 there. I'm going to give 18 here. And what is the default gateway? Let me take a look. What is the default gateway at my primary machine? So all of the machine will have same default gateway in the same network, right? So the default gateway here 192.168.0.1. I'm going to give same thing here. Remember, that is where all of the machines are connected to internet, right? 192.168.0.1, and then I'm going to say okay, and then I'm going to say let me make it full screen. Actually, so there I'm going to say, let me make this alter enter. So here alt enter. So let me see, defaults switch to full screen. Okay, switch. So now I'm in full screen in this virtual box. Now is it still becoming full screen? It seems like it is not becoming full screen. I'll take a look what is so here if I go there, so here had to do is you go there, and in the network tab, can you see that you'll have to select one of the option from here, and then it will basically remove that warning. So now it is there. So what we had to do again, we went there, and then from the properties, and then TCP IPv4. So we brought both of these computer, right? Can you see the IP address and the default network? So IP address, we, if you take a look, my primary machine, the IP address is 016 and everything else is similar. 16 is different, so I put a different number here and then put the default gateway. And now both of these computers are connected, both of these computers are connected to the same network. Okay, now so what we are going to do again, so we are going to run, let's say I have Chrome browser, Internet Explorer in my primary machine. So I'm going to run the test cases in two browser in my primary machine, and I'm going to run the test cases, same test cases parallelly in this virtual machine in Chrome browser. Okay, so let me bring Selenium. Actually, let me bring Eclipse IDE that I am using for this purpose. And while the IDE is being loaded, I'm going to keep this recording paused. I'll be back once the IDE is fully loaded. So I have this workspace that I was working, and I'm going to bring the same workspace. We have, as you can see from my screen here, right? In this example, I have three classes. One is this grid hub, Okay, so I have these three classes. One is this grid hub class where I have let me remove all of these unnecessary things from here. So I have inside this grid hub class I have one test method. As you can see, actually let me do a little bit. I'll have to keep some variables, those I'm using. So let me remove this unnecessary code from here, and then I need this web URL, and yeah, this web URL. That's it. So let me remove this. Let me remove this. I do not need this driver. I'll tell you why I do not need this driver. I need this web URL. I do not need this node URL here, and I need this highlighter. I'll tell you why I need this highlighter. I'll keep one of the, actually I'm going to remove all of this other test method. Now as you can see that a new thing that I'm going to discuss here, can you see this grid hub class is extending this driver initialization class. This is called inheritance in object oriented programming language, inheritance. So you try to understand what is this inheritance is. If you see something like this, extends and another class name, let's take a look what do I have in this class. And inside this class, can you see that I have a before test method that is taking a parameter called browser. I'll tell you what is that browser, and when it is taking this parameter, you will have to do this declaration here on this string browser, and then based on this parameter, right, if the parameter, can you see browser dot equal ignore case. So we are comparing this browser with Chrome. If it is Chrome, then we are giving the path of the Chrome driver, and then we are declaring a Chrome driver, and then we are maximizing the window. If it is, so what is that equal ignore case does? So it is basically, it is comparing browser and Firefox, and it is not if it is, if there is a difference like uppercase lowercase, let's say if your browser the parameter that is coming, if it is uppercase Firefox and it is lowercase Firefox here, so we are saying ignore this case. So what, like, instead of equals ignore case, you can directly say browser dot equals. I'm just waiting for it. My computer is a little bit slower here because I am running too many things. There is a virtual operating system and so many things. So I'm keeping this equals, and then let me remove this. So basically equals ignore case and equals, it is similar. So equals ignore case will, when comparing, it will be ignoring the case. Otherwise it will be here, if you put equals, it will be comparing. Let's say if your browser is Firefox, it will be comparing with Firefox. Now if this parameter, I'll tell you where it is coming from, and then if my browser is Internet Explorer, then it will be starting the Internet Explorer browser. And otherwise, if my browser is, you'll see that in the else if block, if my browser is remote node Firefox, I mean, can you see the name remote node, the word, first of all this Chrome, and then this Firefox, and this, and then this Internet Explorer, and then this remote node Firefox. Just notice this one, if it is remote node Firefox, right, if the browser is remote node Firefox, then we are giving the node URL equal to the if you take a look in this machine, right, in this machine, if you go to this local, right, if you go to properties, so if you come here, so what is it, 192.168.0.100. so you go there, and in your, let me close this. So I gave this, that URL, and 5566 to connect to that machine. This is the URL, and we will have to declare these capabilities in terms of running the remote browser, and then I'll tell you where this Firefox and Vista is coming, and then we are declaring a remote driver. Now let me tell you first where is this browser coming from. If you take a look in this example, there is a testNG.xml file, right? Remember this XML file, and how did I bring this XML file? So I right click here, and then if you go here, if you see there is a testNG tab, and then can you see convert to testNG? If you click on this, and then you will see this testNG.xml. Now what do I have in this testNG.xml, right? So if you come here, can you see it will by default it will be coming with some text, but I did a little bit modification, and then can you see it is I'm giving a suite, right? And in the suite I'm asking run whatever I'm giving test here. Can you see how many tests I have here? 1, and then 2, and then 3. I'm asking run these 3 tests parallelly, and where do I say that it to be running parallelly? Can you see that is where I'm asking this test run parallelly, and the first test this name you can give any name, okay? And then parameter name, can you see the browser and Chrome? So that is where if you come here, and then classes, right? What is the class name? Can you see package name GridHub, and what is the class name? GridHub, right? Under package name GridHub, and then class name GridHub. So it is GridHub.GridHub, and then can you see class is starting here and class is ending here, and then this test, right, is ending here. And then I'm giving another parallel test, right? I'm giving another name here, and then I'm asking run it in Internet Explorer, right? I'm giving a name value Internet Explorer. You can give whatever you like, but based on this value of this browser parameter, your browser name will be defined in the driver initialization method. Now if you take a look, if you look at this, I have another test here, and I'm giving remote node Firefox, right? When it is remote node Firefox, then it will go like, can you see this browser parameter is coming here in this variable, right? And then if your browser is remote node Firefox, it will be coming here. So that means in this testNG.xml I'm asking run 3 tests parallelly. One is in browser Chrome, another one is in browser Internet Explorer, both of these in local machine, and another test remotely, right? Browser remote node Firefox, and based on this parameter value for browser, it will be selecting whether it will be running the test in Chrome or Firefox or remote Firefox. Okay, now you come here. When I am doing this extend, so this one, so inside that I have a before test. So during the before test, depending on each of the test, depending on this value, right? I have how many tests here parallelly? 3 tests, and this function will be called 3 times this before test, and 3 times it will be setting up 3 different browser, right? And then it will be Chrome, Internet Explorer, or remote node Firefox. Now let me see if I have Firefox here in my local machine. Firefox, yep, I have Firefox here. So what I'm going to do, can you see this this Firefox? I'm declaring a local Firefox. I'm going to actually I'm going to do it later. Now what I'm going to do, let me close this, and in the remote machine, let me see. Okay, now I'm going to, my primary machine is going to be the hub. So inside my primary machine, I'm going to start command prompt, and in the command prompt, can you see in my C drive inside Selenium folder, I have this Selenium server standalone, right? So I'll be running this jar file with server hub configuration. So what do? I'll be navigating to this C drive. So by CD, I'm coming to the root C drive, and then I'm going to say cd means change directory, and you say Selenium, right? And then you come here. Now I'm inside in Selenium folder, right? Now what I'm going to do, there is a command called Java, and then I'm going to run a jar. And what is that um, I'm going to do Java, and then this is syntax jar, and then I'm going to say cell and then press tab. Can you see it is bringing the whole the whole name of this jar file, and then here I'm going to say what is the role. So the role will be hub. So now it is, I'm making my primary Windows as a hub, right? It will say when it is ready, it will select. Can you see now it is hub. Client should be connecting to 192.168.0.16.44.44 WD hub, right? Now other machines which are trying to be connected to this machine should be connected to this URL, this IP. Okay, now in the local machine, I'll show you what does this mean. I'm going to open another command prompt here. So you will see that this machine has, if you run IP config here, you'll see that this machine has this IP address and all of this stuff that we have previously discussed. So it is asking if you want to connect other machines to these machines, they will have to be connected to this URL. Now can you see 192.168.0.16.44.44 WD hive? So we'll have to connect other machines, we'll have to give this address as an URL for the hub. Okay, now also you go to your Chrome browser, and in your Chrome browser you will make sure a couple of things. So I'm waiting for my browser to be started. So here if you type local host and 44:4444 read console, and if you press enter, so notice this localhost colon 4444 slash greet slash console, and you will see the version of your Selenium server 3.141.59. Then you go to your remote machine. So in your remote machine, right, new remote machine, make sure that you are connected to internet, otherwise you will not be able to run parallel test. And then you go there, you run your command prompt, and in this command prompt if you run ipconfig, this is just to verify a couple of things. Can you see the IP address is 192.168.0 and then 100. This 100 is different than what I have in the primary machine. So to run it, remember, to run it in multiple machine, all the machines will need to be in same network, and that is how you make sure that these machines are in the same network. And now again in the remote machine, if you go to my C drive, and in my C drive, can you see inside Selenium I have a folder called drivers, and inside drivers, right, I'm going to run test here in Firefox browser, right. Can you see that I have this gecko driver.exe? So it is C Selenium drivers, and inside Selenium drivers, and then can you see this jar file here? So you keep both of these Selenium server standalone jar file, and remember that you can download this jar file from internet, and your gecko driver here. And then from the command prompt you will be executing a command. Let me bring this command, the command in a notepad. I'm not going to write it from scratch, I do not remember it. So I'm going to go there, and inside Selenium automation I have a text pad where I have this where is my command, actually it is inside there, and then is the command. This is the command. I'll tell you what is the command. I'm going to copy this command and then I'm coming here, right? And then first of all I'll have to navigate again to the corresponding folder, C Selenium CD drivers, right? Now that is where I have my jar file and the gecko driver. So I'm going to bring that command here. Now what is the command? Can you see Java WebDriver gecko.driver? So if it is Chrome, then you will say Chrome.driver, and then you will provide C Selenium drivers gecko driver. Now remember that I have my driver, right? If you go to my C drive, Selenium and drivers, I have my gecko drivers inside the drivers folder. Can you see gecko driver? So what I'm going to do here, I'll make it a little bit simple. So I have a folder here that I'm going to remove. Can you see that? Now can you see C Selenium drivers and gecko driver.exe, and then jar Selenium driver standalone. You give your jar file name, and then what is the role? WebDriver hub. Which one is the hub? HTTP 192.168.0.16 444 and remember that it was asking you to register here. Register port. What is the port number? 556. This is the syntax, right? Now if you execute this command, you will see that it will say can you see registering the node to the hub, and the hub is the node is registered and ready to use. Now if you come here in your primary machine and if you refresh this page, you will see that, can you see 192.100.556 that is the remote machine, and now it is connected, and on that machine we are going to run in Firefox browser. Now can you see here the browser name Firefox and the platform name Vista, right? So these two value we are using here in our code here. Can you see in driver initialization, when it is remote node Firefox, we are giving the URL of the remote node, and then can you see browser name Firefox and platform Vista, that is what it is coming from there. Now let's come here. So if you go there in this one, you will see that now node registered a node. The node is connected now here with the primary machine. Now so in this test, what do I have here? In this test I have see, we didn't declare the driver here. So how I am using this driver? Because I'm extending this driver initialization class, and inside that class I have this driver. I have initialized the value inside that class. Now if you come here, and then I'm directly using this class, and what am I doing here? I'm creating I'm opening this URL, and then I'm creating a collection of object for all the font object, and then I'm going through each of the object, and then I'm highlighting those elements. That's it. Now this test should be running in 3 parallel browser, right? One Internet Explorer browser here, and one Chrome browser here, and then one Firefox browser in this machine. Now in this machine, I'm not sure whether it will be able to run it, but it is connected. Let's see. It might not be able to run the whole test, but at least it will be able to bring the browser, I hope. Now you go to your test, and here in this, can you see testNG.xml? Now you will be right clicking on this testNG.xml where you have this configuration. This is the testNG.xml, right? Where I'm saying run this test in 3 parallel instances, right? So now if you run it, can you see run as testng suite, and then yeah, that's fine. Now you will see that, let me point you there. So it should start a Firefox browser here in this remote machine, and also parallelly it should be running 2 other browsers in the primary machine. Okay. Now can you see that it has started a Chrome browser, and also it will be starting a Internet Explorer browser here, right? And then you will see, let's see if it was able to do anything on this remote machine. Not sure. Now you will see that it will be going there, and it will be starting that test, right? It will be highlighting all of this element, and also it should bring the Internet Explorer browser here as well. Can you see it is now starting the Internet Explorer browser? And here in the remote machine, it was not able to bring any browser. Could be because of there are some connection issue, but if you have a parallel machine in the same network, it will be running the browser. Now it is starting that Internet Explorer. It already did the work in the Chrome browser. Now it is going to, so basically we are executing the same test in two separate browser, one Chrome and another one Internet Explorer. So let's see what the Internet Explorer is doing here. So actually the Internet Explorer is still bringing the page, so it is a little bit slow here because of my machine. And over here it seems it was not able to bring the, because it could be because of the connection issue, and the connection issue is not still resolved now. So it was able to run three separate browser here in the local machine, two separate browser here in local machine. Now what I'm going to do, if I go there, let me see what is the issue that I'm seeing here. So the test, is it fully passed? Probably not. So remote node Firefox, it was not able to execute successfully. It is saying unable to find matching set of capabilities. So it was not able to run the test in, let me see what is that capability. Firefox actually instead of Firefox, alright, let's handle this later on. Now, so in my local machine I'm going to create another suite here. Let's say I'm going to basically I'm going to create another class here, and I'm going to name this as class. I'm going to name it as run test on Firefox local. Firefox local, right? I'm going to say finish. Okay, now in that Firefox local, what I'm going to give, I'm going to, again I'll be extending this driver initialization. So I'm going to go there, and I'm going to use same syntax. It will be extending the driver initialization one as well, and then over there I will have my all of this highlighter thing. I'll do a little bit different thing here, you'll see. So here, right, I will have the highlighter, and I'm going to name it as test case Windows 7 local. And then same way, basically I'm not going to do this highlighting thing here. I'll be opening the browser, and then I'll have what I'll do, I'll go there and I'll be inputting a value in that text box. So it will be opening in Firefox and then it will be inputting a value in this text box. So what is the name? Is username, right? So what I'm going to do in my code, I'll say driver dot get driver dot find element by dot x path. And what is the x path? I'm going to give x path. What is the name of this? If you take a look, this element is an input, right? So I'm going to give input and then I'll give what is the attribute name. So I'll say at name equal to what is the name? The name is this, and then I'll say dot set dot send keys, and I know a username that is automate code, and then it will be inputting this text over there. So let's say I have three test case. So this test case, this class, right? Can you see run test local? I'll have to create another entry in this one. So Chrome. So I'm going to create another test here, and I'll name it as Windows 7 4, and it will be in Firefox. And what is the class name? The class name is this. The class name is this, right? So here I'll be giving the class name and this. Okay, now let me save it. Let me close all of this browser, and then let me close this browser. Okay, now let me run this testng file, right? So I have now can you see, because of this Firefox, now it will also be creating a Firefox browser. Basically in the Firefox it will be creating a Firefox driver. So let me run it. So right click, run as testng. So it has started the Chrome browser. It has started the Chrome browser. Maximize it, and it will be doing the highlighting here, and then it has also started the IE browser highlighting, and let's see if it is able to start the Firefox browser. So let's see if the test actually there are some failures. Probably there are some failures it is having in running. Let me see what is the failures. Configuration failures. It is complaining about Internet Explorer, Firefox. So here when I am doing it in the local machine, I'm sending Firefox, and then grid hub, what is the class, run test on Firefox local, and in my driver initialization, what do? Firefox, and then maximize the driver new Firefox driver.manage, and then now if you take a look, there is an error message that I am getting here. For the Firefox, it is saying the path to the driver executable must be set by the WebDriver gecko driver system set property, right? We didn't do it for Firefox one. So what I'll have to do, I'll have to put this code here for Firefox driver. I'll have to set this system set property and then WebDriver, and then here I'll have to give gecko.driver. Here I'll have to give gecko.driver, and where is my gecko driver? If you take a look here in my C drive, I have this gecko driver, so I'll be putting that over there. So if you go there in your code, you'll have to give this gecko driver here. Alright, so I have now these three browser. Let me close all of this browser, and in the Firefox browser it should only be starting the URL and inputting the username in the username text box. Let me save everything, and then let me run this testNG file. Run as testNG. Okay, so for some reason my let me start this cmd, and then let me navigate to this folder, cd cell java sir Selenium server standalone, roll up. Okay, so this is for one reason, it is so that it is able to run in this remote machine. So I know that we are having a little bit issue in running remote machine, but now my plan is to, like, the setup will run three browser parallelly here in this local machine. So I'm going to do right click, run as testNG. So now it has started the Chrome browser, and also it has started the IE browser, and as usual, let me see if it will be starting the Firefox browser, if it will still be having issue, I'm not sure. So let's see, let's go there. I think we are still having a problem with the Firefox browser. Let me see what is the message it provides here. So unable to find a matching set of capabilities. So it is complaining about setup node Firefox, right? Firefox WebDriver gecko.driver Selenium driver, Firefox driver, okay, Firefox. For some reason I'm having a little bit issue in running test in Firefox browser, but so what you were able to see that it was able to run test in parallelly in Chrome driver. Let's say instead of running it in Firefox, I'm going to, so the same thing, if I make the modification here, this one will be running in Chrome. So if I say in the testNG, right, to run it in Chrome, right, Chrome. So let's run it again. So in this case, in my local machine, it should start. Let me see how it goes. I'm not sure. Right click, run as. So can you see it has started 2 instances of Chrome browser, 1 instance of IE browser. In this 2 instances of Chrome browser, in this one it will in one Chrome browser it will do the highlight, in another, let me see, what can you see, it was able to input the username. So in one Chrome browser it has highlighted the elements, and in the other Chrome browser, according to the test case, it has input the value in the username text box. So that is how we use this XML file to manipulate browser and to run test parallelly in as many browser as possible. And you saw that in the same browser, in the same computer, we have opened multiple browser at a time parallelly, and we have executed multiple test cases parallelly. So that is the code, and I will be discussing further on it during our class tomorrow. I know it was a long class, guys, long session, long discussion, but hopefully it will be helpful for you if you watch the video. Thank you. Bye.